Welcome to Around Kitsap. This is BCAT Show, where we go in depth on a topic important to the whole community. This event we're going to talk about today is really, really important. Kitsap County is hosting the Babe Ruth 13-year-old World Series in August. Joining me is Brent Stenman and Russ Barker. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's talk about this event. And Brent, what kind of organization, what did it take to get this event happening here?
Well, it's been a long process, actually. In August of 2008, or I think it was July, actually, we hosted a regional tournament at the Fairgrounds, and Russ and I were running that tournament, and during that tournament, we discussed potentially hosting a World Series and looking into it and see what it would take to host. So it's been almost exactly 4 years now, short a month, that we've been working on this.
Is it an application process, Russ, then, after you say, hey, we can do this?
It is. That's actually a pretty lengthy process in the sense that Babe Ruth has exclusive control over who gets a World Series, and it is an application process, and we were in competition with a number of communities throughout the United States for the opportunity to host the World Series. And then it's basically just proving that you have the capability of being able to put a tournament together, and primarily that's done through a successful process of hosting prior games, state tournament games, regional games, and we've met all of those qualifications, so that kind of put us in a position to be able to move aggressively towards hosting a World Series.
That's awesome. How many folks have been working on it since the idea started? You two, I know, are integral, but there's got to be a committee. How many folks have been working on this process for the last 4 years?
Well, I'd say that from an organizational standpoint, we have a core committee made up of about 20 people that are actively involved, and then we anticipate that we'll have well over 200 volunteers once the World Series kicks off, and we're actually hosting players that start showing up into town here. We'll have a number of volunteers by that time.
Yeah, by that time the place will be really blowing up. Kitsap County's we're gonna have all these folks here, and it's just gonna be great to show off our community. Talk about the process of how the teams feed into the tournament, because these kids are coming from all over the United States, and they don't come alone. They bring mommy, daddy, Grammy, Grampy, aunts, uncles, whoever can make the trip, especially if the team's coming out of Oregon or California. Just get in the car and come on up. Yeah. Tell us about the process.
Well, it's actually at the end of every regular season of Babe Ruth play, the teams are afforded an opportunity to compete in postseason play. So it really begins at probably mid-June or so, when teams start forming for all-star or postseason play. The first challenge is you literally have to win your district tournament, and then the winner of the district tournament advances to a state championship. The winner of the state championship advances to a regional championship, and the winner of the regional comes to the World Series. So there's multiple levels that every team has to be able to compete successfully at in order to earn the right to come to a World Series. So this is a very competitive group of players that will be showing up here to play in the World Series.
And if they've gone through that many games, they are a well-oiled machine, I would think. Yeah. By the time they get here, there's going to be some top-notch play.
Oh, these are players that at this level of competition, especially having been through various levels of tournament play, these kids, they know how to play baseball. And don't let the age fool you. There's some pretty talented young players even at that age.
We are at Snider Park in front of
Lindley Smith Field,
and there are 13-year-old guys playing right behind us. And the beauty of a 13-year-old boy is they could be full-grown man size or still a pretty little boy, not quite into the man thing. So there's a wide variety of shapes and sizes on this team, and this is a great game going on behind us. So let's talk a little bit about how can the community help. We need sponsorship help. We want volunteer help. Let's talk a little bit about that, Brent.
Sure. Obviously, we're looking for sponsors. This is a major endeavor. Russ didn't mention this a minute ago, but part of the competitive process in hosting a World Series is we have to pay Babe Ruth national organization to get the tournament. It's a hefty sum. Not to mention it's very expensive to run a tournament. So our budget is about $150,000 for this.
Wow.
So raising sponsorship money is imperative, and we've been working on it for several years now. more so the last year or so, but we're coming into the final stretch right now, and it's really important that we keep getting some sponsors. So if anyone is interested, we need to hear from them.
Yeah,
and we've done a pretty good job of canvassing the county, I think, and looking for them, but there's always more people out there that we haven't reached.
That's great.
Outside of that, I'd say the next biggest issue is housing. These kids that are coming from all over the United States and Canada, they all have to be housed. They cannot stay with their, we know that their families are going to be here with them. We want their families to be here with them, fill up the hotels and fill up the restaurants and stores and such. But the kids, the players themselves, have to be housed with host families. So they have to be two to a family. So potentially we need roughly 70 families willing to house 2 kids for about 10 days. So that's it's a good chunk of your summer. 10 days. It's not a month, but it's a little bit of a chunk, and you have to be able to provide transportation from the field for them and practices and things like that, and give them a place to sleep and feed them. And
what an opportunity, though!
It's a great opportunity, and I, having been fortunate enough to coach in World Series locations before, it's always one of the highlights of the trip for the kids. It's not just the baseball game, it's the things they get to do in the community and the families they get to stay with and the friendships they make with those families. So it's once we are able to talk people into housing, they always have a great time.
Excellent. Let's mention the dates of this tournament, Russ. What are the dates?
The games actually begin on August the 15th, and the championship game will be on August the 22nd. So it actually starts on a Wednesday and concludes on a Wednesday. The teams will actually be arriving on August the 13th, and then we'll be having a couple of activities that will occur prior to the actual starting of the games. One of those is we'll have a parade, a championship parade through downtown Paulsbo.
Cool.
And then we'll also be hosting a champions banquet at Kiana Lodge here on the peninsula as well. So
very nice.
Yeah, we expect that there'll be a number of people that'll be attending those. Those are both open to the public. If you'd like to come to the banquet or if you'd like to come to the parade, we certainly encourage anyone who has an interest to come out and check it out.
How many teams do we anticipate being here?
Well, there are 8 regions the United States is broken up into 8 different regions. So each of those will send a representative. We'll have a representative from Northern Washington, the state champion from Northern Washington, and then as the host for the World Series, we get to enter a team from within our community. So there'll be a total of 10 teams that will compete in the World Series, and it will, like I say, run from the 15th to the 22nd of August.
And that really is guaranteed beautiful weather in Kitsap, isn't it?
Well, that's certainly what we're telling the people at Babe Ruth headquarters in New Jersey.
Look back in the Farmer's Almanac.
I'll tell you.
What's the weather been like from the 15th to the 22nd of August?
Robert Faraday is the vice president of Babe Ruth Baseball and the commissioner of baseball for Babe Ruth. And he's been out here, 3 times now, I think, to inspect the area and check on our progress. And the last time he was here, it actually rained. We had to schedule a golf outing, actually, and we had to cancel it because it was raining. So we basically spent the day convincing him that it's not like this in August, we promise.
That's right. That's exactly right. Russ, tell everyone the website, because we want you to go to the website if you can volunteer, if you're interested in learning more about hosting a 13-year-old in your home for 10 days. Everything about the Baseball World Series, the Babe Ruth World Series. What's the website?
The website's kitsapworldseries.com, and
Pretty
there's
simple.
Information on there about not only sponsorship opportunities, but also volunteer opportunities. You can learn more information about souvenirs. There'll be a lot of information on there related to the World Series.
And we do need volunteers. You asked me a minute ago what we need help with, and I got on housing, but we do certainly need volunteers. We need people to work in the ticket booth. We need people to work in the concession stand. We need people to work in the souvenir stand. We need people to pick up garbage around the field. I mean, there's jobs for all kinds of different people. Yeah.
That's right.
All games will be held at the Kitsap County Fairgrounds ball field, probably field number 1, the really beautiful field that's been upgraded for the Blue Jackets. So wonderful location, holds numerous people, and the area is just a very nice place.
Yeah.
So
we'd like to offer up just under the championship game of the World Series, which is going to be on August the 22nd, is also going to be on the opening day of the Kitsap County Fair.
Oh.
And so, yeah. So anybody who generally attends the opening day of the Kitsap County Fair, we're going to waive admission cost on the championship game. So anybody can just walk across the street and come watch the championship game of the 2012 World Series. So we're hoping that we get a huge crowd of people in there to really kind of send these kids off. I mean, let them know they played in front of a huge crowd and in front of a game that really meant something, a World Series championship, and make it a really special opportunity for those young boys playing in the tournament.
And speaking of admissions, since Russ brought it up,
Good segue.
it's really very affordable. We've tried to price it such that it's not a hardship as much as possible. It's only $5 for the whole day, and we're playing 4 baseball games a day. $5 for all day. And there's
really
passes
great.
too. If you want to buy a pass for the whole tournament, for family pass is going to be $60 for the entire tournament. So, that's what is it? 23 baseball games? 25 baseball games
For $60.
For $60 for your whole family, not per person.
Oh, that's even better.
So,
That's even better.
but if you can only come for a day, you can come out and watch 4 baseball games during pool play for $5. So part of the measure of success for this event is to get some people out there locally that just want to watch a good baseball game and support the World Series. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to know any of the kids that might be playing. We know there's going to be people following their teams from Nebraska or Iowa or wherever they might be coming from, but we need people here locally to support it and come out and watch baseball, and not just when the host team is playing. We're fortunate enough that we know that our local host team is going to be playing every evening. They've let us schedule the host team in the evenings so we can have people that may have to work during the day can still come out. But there's plenty of other people that may not have anything to do during the day, and we'd love to have them come out and watch the team from Florida playing the team from New York.
Very cool. Very cool. Kitsap is a baseball community. We love baseball here. Thousands of kids play baseball in this community. So we really need you to come out and really support these folks' efforts and what they've brought here to our community, and come on out and support them. Russ was telling me before we went on camera that the opening ceremony is gonna be spectacular. Russ, share a few things. Don't give it all away, but share a few things about what we can anticipate.
Absolutely. I'm withholding the really fun stuff just because we want it to be a big surprise. But when we started this endeavor, we actually were contacted by a few people from within the community who have participated in World Series previously, Babe Ruth World Series. One gentleman contacted me who was on a South Kitsap team from back in 1975 or 1976, I believe, and commented that it was one of the best childhood memories that he ever had. And we'd like to try and incorporate people that have been through that experience and somehow make them a part of that experience as well. So we're really looking for all opportunities to try and get people involved and try and make this a special community event, because it's not just something that Babe Ruth baseball. This is an endeavor that hopefully should embrace the entire community. And we're going to get a lot of out-of-town visitors who are going to come here, and they're going to get an opportunity to see our community up close, and we want to put on a good show for them.
Thanks for your hard work, and I bet it has been. These folks will be taking their personal vacation during the tournament to make sure everything is going smoothly, and you've done a lot of work, and we need to support these folks and support the youth. That's what it really is about. Let's get out and support the kids and enjoy some baseball. I just got chills when I came up to Snider Field. I love baseball. It's an important part of my life, been an important part of my kids' life. I think it's just absolutely great. I look forward to seeing you at a game during the Babe Ruth 13-year-old World Series, August 15th through the 22nd at the Kitsap County Fairgrounds. Thank you for your hard work, and thanks for being with us.
We appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us around Kitsap. We'll see you at one of the games.